Good afternoon, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, my nose sounds all stuffy. Honestly, I really hope I'm not getting sick, but I honestly think it's just allergies. Like, I kind of noticed it, like, on and off throughout, like, the last few days. Really ever since it kind of started getting cold. So, yeah, you guys can kind of tell my voice sounds a little off, I think, because of it. Like, yesterday, honestly, yesterday night was the same thing. Like, I don't know why, for some reason, my allergies seem to just, like, kick it up into second gear, like, hours before I go to bed. And then normally I take a shower, and because of the steam kind of like cleanses me out, and then I'm fine after that, and then like the whole next day. But it's just like, I don't know what it is, like sitting in my room in like the afternoon, because like yesterday and today I was in here in the afternoon, and that's when I noticed like my nose just sounds really stuffy. And like I said, like I think it's just from allergies. But the only thing that is kind of scary is that Matthew had like something, and he was home like over this weekend, and his girlfriend was sick, and then he got sick, and then he was like sick during the week mainly. So he ended up coming home on Thursday and was still kind of a little out of it, but he was a lot better like by like Sunday today, and sounded better. But yeah, he was sick with something, so I'm like, I really hope you didn't bring whatever was home, and like we're all gonna wind up sick with it. I'm still like riding that high from Friday, from the freshman sophomore football game, that win. Like, it's still like, Jack's even like, everybody, we just keep like Snapchatting each other and stuff like that about like, you know, they're like sending each other stuff and everything about like, you know, just the game and everything, and you know how hyped they are and stuff like that. I was like, good, carry that with you guys and like keep going into next practice, like just keep riding it. You know, like, you know, that feeling, because they have games, and the rest of the games in their schedule are all winnable games. The first game of the season was probably the worst, and then I want to say the one where Jack had the fumble recovery that was almost a touchdown, it was like the 5-yard line, was maybe another one that was kind of like out there. Like, I don't really know that they would have probably won that one. We'd never seen that team before, and they aren't, I don't think, normally in our conference. Or maybe they just got switched into our conference or something like that this year. But we'd never seen them before, so we didn't know like what, you know, do they play good teams? Like, you know, what's their, you know, competition level to ours? You know, because most of the team in our division now, which we used to be in a way harder one back when I was, actually I think Matthew's freshman year, they ended up moving into the one that they're in now. But from the year I graduated all the way back to like at least the 80s when my mom graduated, they had been in the same division, or like the same conference. And it was always, all of the other sports that they played in always did really well, like the volleyball, the basketball, you know, girls and boys sports, like I said, like soccer, you know, trying to think, tennis, you know, like all of the sports really across the board all did really well and competed really well in that conference. The only thing is the football team. Football team always did not do very well in that conference. So that's when they ended up switching out of conference, and all the other sports still do really well in this conference, and the football is much more, I think, competitive, because honestly, when I was in high school, we would just stinking get blown out of games worse than they do now. Like, it would just be like 60-0 at halftime. Like, it was really bad. Like, honestly, the end of the games were like just really bad. Like, Matthew's senior year and even his junior year, they were really like pretty competitive. And even to the years before, I think the year Matthew was a freshman maybe, so some of the kids that were juniors when I graduated that were then seniors, because I know a couple of the kids that were on, like, because again, there's like siblings that are now playing, like Matthew is now in school, you know, Matthew is in school now, Jack's in school. Like, I knew that there was a couple of people that were on that team that again were juniors when I was a senior, that were seniors when Matthew was a freshman, that I think that team actually, they had a winning record that year, which was kind of like a big deal. And Matthew's team almost ended up having a winning record his senior year. I think they won, oh no, maybe they only won 2 games or 3 games or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head how many the varsity ended up winning, but I know it was at least 2 or more games. So yeah, but I forgot where I was going with that, guys. But yeah, like I said, now they're in a conference where it's a lot more competitive, at least. Like I said, like even last year they had like they won 1 game. All 4 years that I was in high school, I think we ended up winning 1 game. I think that was my sophomore year, homecoming, and reportedly, which we played a really good team that year, I believe they actually let us win the game. Because we like never got any wins. I don't know. That was the rumor that went around. I don't know if it was true or not. But anyways, guys, I'm going to talk football all day today, apparently. But Matthew's like freshman year, they did really well too. I think they won 4 games maybe, or 3 games or something like that. We were actually trying to figure it out last Friday how many he won. But anyway, so the one team that they ended up, I think I told you guys, that played, I think that was their first away game maybe. That was a team that we had no clue. Like, so I think those first 2 games, the first one for sure we kind of knew was not going to be a competitive game, and the second game we were like, it could go completely either way. We have no clue. We kind of figured that the team might have been kind of good, but again, didn't really know. I think it was like based on their record like the years prior or whatever, but we didn't really know like versus the teams that they played if they were really good or not. And then I can't really remember the other few games, not last Friday's game, but the 2 games before that were games that like were, again, really close games and against competitive teams that we probably could have won. But I know, again, if we count the 3 that we have left, the 1 we won, and the 2 before that, those were all 6 games in total that we at least knew we were going to have a chance at winning. Like I said, the next 3 games that we have left, which I think it's away, then we have home, which is homecoming and senior nights, both on the same. I really don't know why they decided to do that. I think it was really dumb. I think last weekend should have been homecoming, like this past Friday should have been homecoming. And then because I have never like pretty much ever known like them to have like homecoming and senior night on the same night, because normally like senior night they have like all of this stuff, like the parents walk the kids down, you know, and like bring them out onto the field. Like they walk them out onto the field, and they announce all the kids for senior night and stuff like that. And then you also have all the homecoming festivities, like you announce the what's it called, the homecoming court, like at halftime. And I feel like it's a lot of like extra additions to like the whole, you know, game, all for one night. Like I said, normally that's why you kind of split it up, like homecoming is its own separate thing, and then senior night's its own separate thing, and having them both on the same night I feel like is just going to be a lot of sitting there listening to like people's names being called and them going and doing their thing, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of see that as just being like a really long drawn out like thing, because again, it's going to be like a 2-night thing. Or like, you know, a 2-event night thing in one night and in one football game. So I don't know, guys, but yeah, like I said, that's probably gonna be a crazy night. I'm not anticipating and not really looking forward to the last home game. Anyways though, guys, watched the Bears game today, which stunk. They lost, and I watched Jack's game film too, so that's why too, guys, I'm kind of still on that like the buzz from the hype of the win on Friday, because we went over game film. Like my dad just wanted to real quick go through it, which they didn't have a lot of defensive plays, which was actually really good because the offense chewed up a lot of clock and ran the ball and stuff like that, which was really awesome. So honestly, it probably took us only about like maybe 20 minutes or something like that. Matthew wanted to do it before he had to go back to school, so I was like, sure, I'll watch it, because why not watch the game a second time? And like I think I told you guys too, some of the times I'll help my dad because he has a really hard time using like Huddle to be able to like watch the play and then try and rewind it and like go back. He's not super tech savvy, so a lot of the times I'll help him with it, but since Matthew was home and wanted to do it anyway, he did it on his computer in the living room. And at first I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then when Matthew came in, he was like, no, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, I guess we'll just stick around and watch it a second time. So, yeah, we did that. So I did a lot of football today. We also ended up going to Aldi. The thing was too, guys, I was up this morning at like probably like 8:30 or maybe, no, I think it was up earlier, honestly. I think it was up at like 8 o'clock or like 7:50 or something like that when my alarm first started going off. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll get up and we'll go to the grocery stores. I was like, we'll go first thing in the morning. I can get home early, get to maybe some stuff during the day before the football game because it was on at noon. And then I was like, oh yeah, Aldi doesn't open until 9 o'clock. I guess I'll stay in bed for another like half an hour, 45 minutes. So then we ended up going to the store around 9 o'clock or something like that. We also had to drop off a donation bag at Goodwill, and then we ended up going to Menards. So I didn't do any of the other grocery shopping this week. But then we came back home, and by about that time the Bears game was on, which I actually ended up buying a whole bunch of like cookies from Aldi because I wanted to do like tea and biscuits kind of thing, because they were playing in London, so I wanted to just kind of like do it off that. And on top of that too, because Aldi has really good chocolate chip cookies, like not they're like just like generic, like it looks like Chips Ahoy cookies, but they're like bakery, like they normally have it with the bread section. Oh my gosh, their chocolate chip cookies are so good. Like seriously, guys, I love them. They're like, and they're not super sweet and like overly sugary either, and they don't taste like, they taste like a homemade cookie. But even homemade cookies, like not homemade cookies, but like fresh baked cookies, like, you know, that you like made from like Toll House, you know, cookie dough or whatever, like they still taste, those kind of taste processed. These to me, I don't know why, they just didn't taste like processed, you know, if that makes sense, but they tasted still soft, like they just came out of the oven. You know, like they tasted really good. Like I don't know how to describe it. And they didn't taste super like fluffy either, like I guess like homemade cookies sometimes do. Like even if you made them from scratch, like they felt, and not like super dense either. I don't know how to describe them, but I really like them. So that's what we ended up doing. But nobody really likes tea in our house except for my mom, and she wanted iced tea. So we just got iced tea, and me and Jack ended up having Arnold Palmer's. So I got like a little, like the 12 pack or whatever it is, since that's iced tea and lemonade. So that's what we ended up having for today for our little pregame. And my mom made, what'd she make? She made chili. And then we had leftover chili, so she's actually going to do like a chili mac kind of thing tomorrow, like a sort of like a beefaroni kind of like thing with the leftover chili, because there wasn't a lot left, but she wanted to use it up and turn it into like a, like I said, like a pasta something with chili in it. Yeah, so that's what we're going with tomorrow. So I'm not cooking tomorrow, which is like, I need to get back to those other grocery stores though, guys, because the thing is that I have not been getting any like meat to make freezer dinners with. So I haven't been making freezer dinners, but I've been using them like in a semi-regular basis. I've been doing like chicken Kiev some nights. I did BLTs I think a different night, and I ended up doing like, I mean, within the last like maybe month or two, I've done chicken patties too a few times, like with pasta. So I've like I said, been doing those, so it hasn't been like I've been doing like freezer dinners every day, you know, that I cook, but I still have been using them up kind of, you know, and I need to kind of replenish. So I was like, I really need to try and get back to the grocery stores, like the, you know, Valley Produce and Caputo's, and I could do it at Aldi. It's just like, I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of buying like meat and stuff like that from Aldi, and I don't know why I am, but like a lot of times it's not quite as cheap, or like as cheap as I could get it at Valley Produce or Caputo's, even if it is on sale. So if they have like a sale on like chicken breast or whatever, and they're like $1.99 a pound or $1.79, sometimes it's like $1.49 or $1.29 at like Valley Produce or Caputo's. Sometimes Caputo's even has it 99 cents a pound. On very rare occasions, but again, like that kind of stuff, like I don't like paying that much for it. But I guess if I'm not spending the money at the other grocery stores, I should just get it. But sometimes too, it doesn't make a lot of freezer dinners. Like I might use a few chicken breasts, and so I might be end up, you know, paying like 20 bucks on chicken breasts and only end up making like 5 freezer dinners or something like that, which again isn't like a bad price in the grand scheme of things. But you know, my money, I can a lot of times stretch further at those other stores, and so I kind of want to go to there. But again, it's kind of all timing wise, because I feel like with football, I think I told you guys too, it's just difficult to try and find timing that works. So anyway, so guys, I'm gonna get to bed. I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.